Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. I'm Susie, and this podcast helps you navigate your journey through the crossroads by taking a deeper look into witchcraft and spirituality. So settle in, grab your beverage of choice, and let's get this episode going. Hello, gorgeous souls. I have a treat for you. I have a guest here today. We're going to welcome back Elena. Hello, my friend.
Hello, lovely listeners.
I'm so excited to have you on today all the time. But for my lovely listeners out there, we have something we're so excited to talk to you about today. I am going to do a few housekeeping things. I do want to say thank you so much for all of the follows and your kind words and getting in touch with me. Remember, you have all the links available in the show notes down below. And if you have a question or you have an idea for a topic, please don't hesitate to send that to me. This is where I get a lot of my ideas. If you're brand new, because I have some new listeners, hello, hello. Thank you so much for finding me on my little corner of the world over here. My podcast is about to turn one. It's just about Pisces season, and I'm super excited. I want to see if I can get 1K downloads by the time my little podcast turns one. It's been a labor of love, and thank you so much to all of you that share my episodes, share the podcast and helping and doing all of that, giving the 4-star reviews actually helps push my podcast so that way it doesn't get lost in the ethers. So I just want to say thank you so much. And for all the follows, all the new friends I have on Instagram and threads, even on TikTok. I know TikTok hasn't been the same, but I'm still on there. But majority of the time, you can see me on Instagram and the newsletter. Quick reminder that my weekly newsletter does go out every Monday. If you're like, dang, Susie, I haven't been getting my newsletter, it's probably in your promotions folder or the spam. Again, I can't understand the tech. I tried different words, but if you are part of my newsletter coven, it's totally free and you're not seeing it in your inbox, it's probably in your spam or promotions. So I try to understand. It was driving me nuts. Elena can attest to that because we're having that same difficult conversation. But again, if you are not part of the newsletter, you can drop your email down in the show notes below. But again, I'm sending them out. I'm real good. I'm gonna hit that on my bingo card. I'm really staying and sticking with it because I love it.
Yeah, I don't understand the logistics on that, but I do want to run a test with that. Like, because I truly feel like it has to do with certain words that are being used in the emails. And then when we attach links.
Mm,
So I want to play with it. And, I have a newsletter as well. And I want to just let my peeps know, hey, I want to test this out because this is some bullshit. Because I feel like we need to be up in everyone's emails. We do have a lot of wisdom to share and a lot of things and gifts and exclusives. And trying to build a community is already hard. So
yeah.
I want to test it out and see if it's certain words and see if it's because we're adding links to certain products. So.
Which is, to me, that's kind of dumb because obviously I'm going to send you all links. It's the easiest way to get there. Well, I'm going to throw you somewhere else. It's weird.
Exactly. There's gatekeeping wisdom.
I know. Speaking of gatekeeping wisdom, that's not what we're about here.
Nope, not at all.
So, we're going to talk to you a little bit about tarot and a little bit about our journey with tarot. So, if this is your first episode that you're listening to, I met Elena through a podcast she used to have. And that was because I was on my journey on the tarot path. I had remembered a friend had just brought it up nonchalantly that she had gotten a Reiki session done with a tarot reading, and I was like, "What is that? Please tell me more." And so she told me about this, and at the time, this is pre-COVID. I went in and got a Reiki session done, and it would blew my mind. I had no idea what it was, but I had just gotten out of a 15-year relationship, and I was finding myself. Who is Susie? You know what? Susie ain't scared no more. Susie's ready to step in. You know what? I don't care if y'all think that me reading my horoscope is a devil. Whatever. That's on religious trauma that we can talk about later. But I kept moving forward and I was like, I want to know what this is. Energetic healing. I really was in need of that. Tarot? Sure, pull out that deck. What is that? So when I did a little bit more research for myself, I went and I bought my first deck. And it wasn't the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith because I didn't know. I just bought whatever deck called to me. And believe it or not, it was at Barnes and Noble of all places because I didn't know, right? I just went and I grabbed a deck. I liked the book. The book looked hefty because I wanted to learn. Then COVID hit, and that's where I saw more tarot readers on my For You page. Then I was like, I'm going to listen to this podcast that Elena was on. And I was like, damn, I love this girl's energy. She's so fun. And I liked the people that she was with and breaking down the cards. That's how my journey started. I didn't really have a community, so to speak, where it's like we knew each other. Later on, Elena and I started reaching out because I was fangirling, right? They went live one time on Instagram and I was like, holy shit, I'm on here. And they're like, hey, girl. And I was like, ah. I was so like, I can't believe I'm talking to these people that know so much about the esoteric and tarot and Reiki and all of that. And it really opened up my eyes. So that's how I started my journey. How'd you start your journey, Elena?
I feel like I started my journey where I was consistent with it and really dove into it. Probably I would say, I think like 7 years ago. And same thing, like with you, I just started kind of looking for resources to learn from, right? And just Googling, like, where do you fucking learn tarot? Uh,
Hmm.
I kind of, in the beginning of this, struggled with religious trauma only because of, growing up Catholic or whatever. So just finding other people were doing tarot was just kind of inspiring me to just find my own way of learning. So I did sign up and did some like online courses and things that were all pre-recorded, but I felt like it just didn't sit with me. And one of the women on the podcast that I was on was sharing on her Instagram like a tarot challenge, like a 30-day tarot challenge, which I don't see people do anymore. And I have been thinking of starting one up. But I was just posting and sharing my thoughts, and I was brand new on sharing like my interpretations for the cards. And I was a little scared. I was scared because, you're not sure how people are going to react to things, or especially in the world of esoteric and tarot reading, you do have people that say you have to read a certain way, right? But one
Right.
of these just reached out to me and really liked how I was interpreting the cards, invited me to like a group meetup, to like a tarot meetup. And she was like, it's just a space where we get together and we do a tarot exercise and it just gets you to learn more. So I was intimidated as fuck because these women were just reading for so many years, one of them 15 years. And I'm like, who am I? I'm only reading for a few months. But that is where I just being with these women and in that podcast really made me understand that I'm an intuitive reader and
Hmm.
energy before I read the cards. I feel like the cards is just tells the story of the energy I'm picking up on, honestly, because there a lot of the times when I picked up the deck, I kind of already felt what the reading was going to be about. And then the cards are like, yeah, that's exactly what I was feeling. So I remember learning off of the Smith Waite Centennial because that deck to me spoke to me more. So I learned with that. And I also learned with the Miss Cleo's deck. Don't ask why I was drawn to that deck. But
I
those
love it.
two were my favorite to learn from, just because I guess I needed the traditional imagery, right?
Right, right.
I do appreciate because at the time when we were doing the podcast, we were breaking a lot of the tarot down and we did go through a lot of the imagery, the symbols, the colors. So
Hmm.
I did appreciate that. And that's kind of like how I just started going into it. And through tarot, I discovered Reiki. And I had the same kind of like the same experience you had where I was following a woman that does Reiki and tarot, and I booked with her. And honestly, I was like, what is this? Like, how is this going to work when she lives in this state and I live in California? Man, when I tell you the first time, the moment she was like, I'm gonna start, I felt like someone was in the room with me.
Yes.
Felt the energy being given to me. Like I felt the energy in the room and I could hear things. I could hear a woman's voice, like it was a real experience. And I'm like, I need to learn this. like my soul knew this is something that I needed to do. And
Mhm.
I started taking courses and things like that. So that's kind of like how I started on this journey. And it's just the love of, it's just like, did you know the results, right? You know how this really is beneficial to people. And I love seeing, I love working with people and seeing them feel much better afterwards, or they are being able to understand themselves and get themselves
Yeah.
uh, stuck. I mean, where they feel stuck, they're able to unstick themselves. It's like doing Reiki and tarot with people who actually take it seriously and they take
Mhm.
the message and they start to listen to their higher self. You really, really start to become so self-aware and you really feel like you can unstick yourself in any situation.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And how funny, that's exactly how I felt when you did the violet flame. Violet, okay, like the color, not violent. When you did that healing, because you're like, you had just gotten certified, and you're like, first 5 people to hit me up, I'll send it to you for free. I'm practicing. I was like, bet, here I am. And it wasn't even on a call. It wasn't, it was just like, all right, get comfy. I'm going to get started in 30 minutes. And I was like, all right, cool. And I remember like, well, if anything, at least I'm getting a nice little rest out of it. I went to a room, I had my crystals, and just that energy I felt. And I'll never forget because I told you right off the bat, we were leaving voice notes for each other on Instagram. And I was like, I felt like there was like a hummingbird just vibrating on my forehead. And you're like, dude, let me tell you what came through. And you're telling me all these things. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is fucking phenomenal. So yeah, when someone is actually caring about the person receiving and they know their stuff, that's when you feel it. Because I'm going to tell all of you right now, like I always say, you have to do a little bit of research on whoever it is that you're going to get a reading from or a session from, because now that the craft is becoming more and more popular, right? More and more mainstream, it is a good thing, but there's always someone or some people that are in it just to capitalize and in it just to scam you, because that's just the way of the world, right? Unfortunately. Um, but before I go into it anymore, you're probably thinking, Susie, what the hell is tarot? And probably what is Reiki? We'll work on Reiki on another episode, but tarot, if you are unfamiliar with tarot, tarot is a deck that contains images and suits, and they represent an aspect of, let's say, life. The cards are read in combination to each other. Sometimes you just pull one card, you can interpret the meaning at the given moment or whatever scenario is going on. But with tarot, you are connecting with either your higher self, the universe, or you're connecting to the other person's guides, higher self. So the tarot can actually tap into deep, unconscious inner knowing, right? And it offers very valuable insight and energy
Mhm.
for the reader, right? Whether you're reading for yourself or you're reading for someone else, at times you're just like you need some type of guidance, and that guidance can 100% come from reading from a tarot deck. The tarot deck is always the same. You're going to hear tarot versus oracle decks can be however many cards. The tarot deck will always have 78 cards. You'll have major arcana, minor arcana, and you'll have the suits in there as well. So that's just like surface level, right, of what tarot is. Did you want to add anything else, maybe that I missed? Just
Well,
surface level?
one thing too, like that I really jumped into this too is just learning them. You discover it's really a mirror to what you need in your life,
Mhm.
because every card is like an experience of your life. And so it really is more than a tool, like a divination tool. It really is something that every goddess needs to, or anyone needs, just to help you navigate through your life and understand yourself.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So going back to finding people, your people, right? Supportive, safe. They're not here just to take advantage. Elena and I have been working on something very special, and we're finally ready to unleash it on the world, right? On the universe and all timelines. So we're so excited to offer our 5-month course, and it is Tarot Origins, Awakening Your Inner Oracle, and this is Tarot 101 for beginners. And the way I just got goosebumps and I'm so excited to do this. We both been wanting to do like a course, right? To teach tarot because honestly, just having that tool has helped me navigate.
Thank
And I love being of service to others. That's just who I am, right? And doing readings for other people because I'm grounded, I feel very in touch with my intuition and I feel comfortable enough now to read for others and helping them find their realizations or something clicks. And it's not always right then and there, right? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's weeks or months later, and I'll get a message, Susie, oh my God, I went back to that email and I was like, that's what the cards were talking about. So it's just a beautiful tool. And we want to break stigmas. We want to help guide you. And we want to awaken your inner oracle
right.
with this 5-month course. You want to tell my listeners what they're going to be offered?
Yeah. And what I love about tarot is it does awaken that inner oracle and lead you to
Hmm.
your other spiritual gifts. And not only does it strengthen just your intuition, it strengthens your other clairs. Like I know for sure it definitely strengthened my clairvoyance because I was very clairaudient before I picked up the deck. But because of tarot, I started getting a lot of visions through my third eye, and it just really, really strengthened that. So I'm
Nice.
excited to for anyone joining the course that they think it's just going to be learning tarot. Nah, we're going to be teaching
Mm.
about your inner oracle, and this over the 5 months, it is going to be live classes twice a month. With you're going to get the both of us as your mentors to just give you going over the entire deck and making you feel more comfortable reading for yourself. Live coaching calls, which will be meeting up if you have any questions after class. Maybe you just are struggling with some of the interpretations, or maybe you just something popped into your head after class. You can email us the questions and then we'll go over the coaching and through the coaching call, or you can just show up live.
Hmm.
Also provide what we call after class reflections. We didn't want to say homework because that just didn't, right? But this will help you stay connected to your learning even after the class, just to get you more like involved in it and keep up with your learning. Same thing with having that small group setting, being in a small group setting, and the recordings will be available. We're going to record the sessions and the live coaching call. So if you can't make it to one of the live meetups, you'll always have everything. And even if you do make it to the meetups, you'll have all that information to go back to your learning. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. We had gone live on our Instagram, so you could find that on both of our pages, which I will link down below. But I liked how Elena had brought up ADHD, the squiggly brains, and
Oh, yeah.
she can go into that in a minute. But when we sat down to break down this course, how long is it going to be? We didn't want it to be, okay, here's the video and it just sits in your inbox forever, right? Because we really want you to come in and learn. So we understand there's a bunch of different learners. You like live classes, will be live. You like to catch up on the recordings, you'll have the recordings. You have a question, you can submit it, and then we'll get to it at a coaching call. And then to have the after class reflections, that way you're on top of your learning. Okay, you went through the class, whether it was recorded or live. Here's a little exercise for you to do, and then let us know how it went. And so when we break this down, we're trying to at least broaden the learning, right? Because there's not one type of learner. We wanted to include all of you in the learning process. And besides, like you have two badass teachers. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, badass teachers. It's not going to be a stuffy like lesson where you're just going to hear us talk at you. This is not just lecture, lecture, lecture. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your insight. We want to hear your questions right then and there or after. Um, DM us or send us an email, but we really want to hear and collaborate with our students because to be very honest, Elena had said earlier, like we're still learning too. If you're gonna pick up a card and it's what am I gonna pick up here? It's the Ace of Cups. This is how we interpret it. This is what's said in the guidebook, but you may bring in a different spin on where you're like, ooh, you know what? Hell yeah. We like that. So this is the type of fun, safe, and supportive um, classroom, so to speak, that you're going to be part of.
Yeah, for sure. And oh, just mentioning the squiggly brain because I do have ADHD and dyslexia. And so for me personally, I can't do pre-recorded classes because I find it a struggle to show up for them. I like being in live sessions, whether that's once a month, twice a month, three times a month. I like it because I feel like I learn better, especially if there's other people in the class. And like you said, learning from your students, like that's the best for me. And I honestly wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have a passion for teaching and I didn't have a passion for tarot.
Hmm.
And so I think that right there for me is what would get me to sign up because of the love that this person has to teach it. And so, yeah, I'm excited to start this journey. It's something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. And I knew I couldn't do it by myself for some reason. Like, our lives are so busy. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have someone that is as passionate as you are and loves tarot um, that wants to help you do this together. So I'm really excited to get this class going.
Yeah, same. And as far as like recordings, because I mean, I love to catch a live class, and sometimes the time zone, depending on where you're at, it doesn't work. It doesn't match up, right? Because we're all busy. But the good thing that is that we decided is that after, right, the reflections after class. That way, the recording doesn't just sit in your inbox. So it's like, oh, I paid for this. I'll get to it when I get to it because we all know how that can be. We get too busy. That way, you have these exercises to do, and when we come in together and we meet together, it's like, hey, it holds you accountable, so to speak.
I was just gonna say, knowing that I have to show up for something live that I paid for, I put it on my calendar, it's set. Like I love that. And I see it as my learning day,
Mhm.
myself. And I this is the perfect year, the year of the hermit, to invest in your growth.
Yes, yes. So I've said this before on a couple of episodes. The year 2025, when you break down those numbers, and you'll learn this in class, you get the hermit card. And that hermit card is about, okay, my learning, my intuition. Now I'm going to be reflecting, kind of going into the dark, right? And we're not afraid of that shadow, right? We're not afraid of the dark because we are the light, we are the magic. So this is what's going to light you up. This is what's going to guide you and continue to guide you and move you. It's like I said on our live, are there free resources? Yeah, you can get all the tarot books. Right behind me, I got a shelf full of tarot books. Now, some I've read cover to cover, and some I just would just look up interpretations whenever I felt like imposter syndrome kind of coming in. But for the most part, if there was something like this being offered, I would jump on it because I like hands-on learning. And if I could ask a question outright, that maybe I can't find in the book, or I gotta Google it or find a post, or maybe it's on Instagram Reels or on TikTok, like trying to search for it and then trying to like vet these people, like, okay, is it their way or the highway of reading, or can I read this way? There's a lot of information out there that it could be overwhelming. So
Right.
we wanted to bring this class in so that way you don't have to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to feel worried because we're literally starting from the ground up,
Mhm.
picking the deck, how to cleanse it, how to ground yourself, the history, and then moving forward all the way through how to create a spread.
Yes. Yep. I
Mm.
agree. And also too, like what I love about this is like I said, not only does it open you up spiritually to other things, but you get a sense of reading energy and being comfortable with the energy around you, especially if you're going to go off and do other things. I felt with tarot, I started to learn the energy around me, my spirit guides, my higher self. Like it really did open me up. Just these deck of cards, like you wouldn't think that I feel like you wouldn't think that you would get more out of just learning these cards, but you really do. You really get a
Yeah.
real understanding of your energy and what's that energy coming through and how to interpret that energy. Because we're all different readers, and this course is definitely going to help you find your reading style. We're not saying come to this class and learn how to read like Susie and I. I'm
No.
saying come to this class and let us help you awaken your own inner oracle because you're going to do that. And that inner oracle looks different for
Yes.
single person. So if you, come on in and want to learn from two badass mentors, this is the spot.
Exactly. And this is for those of you that have been on the fence on buying that deck. You have the deck, but it's still not clicking. Or you've been reading for a little bit and maybe you want to pop in and see how we interpret the cards or how we maybe things that you can pick up along the way to make you a stronger reader. 101 doesn't mean that you know this, oh, I'm already been reading for a while. This isn't for me. It's for everyone because of the way that we're breaking everything down. So, we do have early bird pricing right now. It'll be open for a week. So, this is dropping. Dude, I was in March again in my calendar. I just want to get to March. So, this episode is dropping February 16th, and you're going to have early bird pricing, and the link is going to be in the show notes. It's going to be on my link in bio, on my Instagram. It's going to be on Elena's and also in the newsletter. So, we want to make sure that you got that, okay? And then it's going to go up to full price starting February 24th. So, you have a week and a day to get this going. Let me see what else. I was thinking maybe we can pull a card
Ooh,
or
yeah.
two, like you pull a card and I'll pull a card on the energy that this course is going to bring to our students. That way we can break it down. I just thought of this on the fly. We both have our decks out, which I thought was a beautiful thing.
Yep. This is the deck I'm using, the Light Seers. Actually, I learned after this is the third deck I got, and it's the deck that still speaks to me the most. All right.
Awesome. I'm actually using Runic Tarot. It's new because it has the runes attached to it. I'm still learning the runes.
I love this. I got the Six of Wands.
Tell us about it. All right, it's
I
just a minute.
I love this because I feel like this is going to be a chance for you to showcase what you got, highlight your skills, celebrate what you already know. And I feel like with the Six of Wands and being in this course, you're going to discover parts of yourself that you didn't know you could like that you were in you. And I feel like you're might be a little shocked by your inner oracle in a good way. And it's going to really highlight you. I because this card is showing a woman on this like on a stage and then
Hmm.
are on her. So I really feel like this is your time. This class is going to really make you not I kind of feel like it's going to give you that confidence that you need really to push you to the next level in your reading.
Yes,
Wherever you're at right now, I really feel like it's definitely going to give you that boost that you need. I truly feel that.
I love that. And I love that message, especially because how bright your deck is.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how it's almost like that, it's that victory. Like the spotlight looks like it's on this person.
Yeah.
And I love that. My deck is a little bit dark because it's a runic tarot. You see a lot of like Vikings and stuff, but I actually got I got two actually. I got the 10 of Wands
Ooh.
and the Queen of Pentacles. And the way that I read this is Odin actually. So I was like, ooh, okay, Odin, like just the creator himself. When I see the 10 of Wands, I feel like, especially for this class and the Queen of Pentacles, this is time where you can actually unload all of that, I guess, not the heaviness, but like you're trying to do it all on your own.
Yeah.
You're trying to do it all on your own, and now is a time where you can actually maybe take a couple of wands off your back. Like kind of it's time for you to allow someone else to help you on your journey, and that's how I see the Queen of Pentacles. So
Yes.
you have this really dark card and the Queen of Pentacles, the way she's sitting, there's a fruit tree behind her. It's very bright. And the Queen of Pentacles is about nurturing and grounding and taking your time. And I kind of see that as like we are here to help and nurture this for you because we want to see you win. We
Yes.
want to see you continue and move on. Whether you read for others or you just read for yourself, like this is a major thing. So take the load off yourself. You can always go back to books. You can always find videos. But coming into this class to immerse yourself and to be surrounded in a nice, safe space to learn, I think you owe that to yourself. That's how I'm taking this reading.
Yeah, I definitely feel like you're right. I feel like being overwhelmed with all the resources that you have, it's maybe time to put the online books resources down and step into something live and move into the Queen of Pentacles as your teacher. Like, because I really feel we're going to help you find that balance, so that you can find your not only your reading style, but your learning space too.
Yes, 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 yes. And the card that came out just that flipped out was the Ten of Cups.
Oh
Tell
yeah,
me that's not celebratory. That is just fun times. We're gonna have fun here, you guys. We're gonna
yeah,
have fun. It's not gonna be a stuffy learning like you have to read it like this. Nah, that we're not about that. We want to help guide you into finding your learning style and your reading style.
for sure, for sure. And I love the Ten of Cups too, as the cups linking to relationships. I feel like we're gonna definitely find our tarot community with this, like our tarot family, and
Yeah.
not gonna just be a class. Like I definitely see the people that are in the class becoming a community as well as all of us. Like we're gonna be creating something that is going to be positive for the future too, not just for a one-time thing.
Exactly, exactly. I love that. All right. I want to thank my special guest, Elena, for coming in today and
For having me. Love.
yeah, always, of course. I'm gonna link everything in the show notes, ways that you can connect with Elena. I'm gonna drop the early bird price. Don't sleep on it. Now's the best time. There are payment options, of course, available, so don't worry about that. If you have any other questions, you can shoot me an email. There's a link below, or hit me up on my socials, or Elena as well. And other than that, gorgeous souls, I will see you at the crossroads. Bye.
Bye.